no problem. I've still got Plan C. Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Plan C Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving. This is going to come out on a Wednesday, so this will be the day before Thanksgiving. So happy day before Thanksgiving. And if you're listening on the next day, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you are having a good time with family and or friends. Hope everyone's doing all right today. I'm doing all right, looking forward to spending some time with family. Always very appreciative of that. Today's episode is kind of a chill one. We broke down the Thanksgiving games, but we also kind of did it in the theme of like, okay, these are the teams that we also want to cover. So yeah, a little bit of this week, a little bit of the last week. Should be great. Make sure you're checking us out on Spotify, on Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Check us out on YouTube. We've got some good YouTube videos there going on. I don't have too much else to say. I'm going to get a basketball podcast out probably in the next week. We're almost at the 20 game mark. And that's when I said I wanted to record a podcast. And I said, okay, I want to wait 20 games, so then we'll talk about it. And we're almost at 20 games. So expect that. I'll say either, maybe next week. I'll say next week. Anyway, make sure, again, liking, sharing, doing all the fun things, checking out prior episodes. Appreciate everyone for listening. Very thankful. Hope you're having a great one with family. Peace out, y'all. We are back. Bonjour. As always, AJ joining me. Football coverage. AJ, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
Not much. Just preparing for the holiday that is ahead of us. I'm for the first time in my life, I will be hosting a Thanksgiving brunch at my own apartment, so that'll be fun. Not doing like full turkey and stuff, but still gonna host. That'll be good. And then on to my dad's for Thanksgiving dinner. Gonna be right in the Giants Cowboys range, so don't have to treat myself to that. Tom Brady is doing that announcing. Good luck, Tom. It's gonna be a chill time.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you.
You as well. All right. So first game on Thursday that we're gonna be talking about. We talked about a bunch of different topics, and we couldn't really like put our finger on what we wanted to talk about. So what we decided to do, so you're like, okay, let's go over the games. AJ had this great idea. He said, let's go over the games on Thursday, and then we can kind of branch off the conversations as we want. Because I wanted to talk about like the Giants, just with all their turmoil. I think we need to talk about the Packers because they've really, I think they've won 7 in a row, something like that. That's what we decided to do. First game, Bears-Lions. I think this is probably the game that will provide us the least amount to talk about. Bears fans, I'm sorry, pal. Like, man, y'all are just fucking cursed. I don't know how else to say it, but wow, is it so bad? It is so bad. I don't know what curse this is, but wow, like it's I please.
It's bad. No, I mean, to take it back 2 weeks ago, they lost on a last-second field goal. Then they got another field goal blocked this week. Then, did you see how the game ended? Bears took it to overtime against Minnesota. Fantastic comeback. They recovered an onside kick. Some beautiful throws by Caleb. And then Minnesota
scored a touchdown.
I know. On my bench this week. Actually, first week I decided to bench him.
But you won, so it's all good.
It's all good. But did you see there's a lot going around about the coverage that the Bears were running on that field goal block attempt in overtime?
Isn't Eberflus supposed to be like a defensive guy as well?
Yeah. So he was running pretty much preventative. Like he just in case the Vikings were going for it. He didn't rush everybody. Didn't do a typical field goal block. He left a couple people back just in case something happened, I guess. Which, like,
Why?
first of all, like, yeah, why in general? But my guy, you just had a field goal blocked earlier this game. You guys lost a game by a field goal getting blocked last week. Why not? Why not try to replicate the same thing? Makes no sense to me. That guy's on his way out.
Oh, his job is he's done. He's done. He's done. Mind you, it was only a 29-yard field goal as well. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So Eberflus is going to be done. There's a good chance if they get blown out as bad as the Lions have been beating people this season, there's a chance he's gone by Thanksgiving. But my thing is, okay, so Eberflus is likely going to get fired. If not this season, he's by the end of the season. And then they're bringing in a whole new coaching staff. Caleb's going to be starting his second year on his third offensive coordinator. Like they're just setting the guy up for nothing, to fail all around.
did you see during Media Row for the Super Bowl last year, they're interviewing some Seahawks players and they're like, "Oh, Shane Waldron, like, the Bears just hired him. Bears have the first overall pick. Like, what do you guys think of Shane Waldron? Your former offensive coordinator?" And they were like, he's a nice guy." And that was literally, it was the most awkward fucking thing I've ever seen. Holy shit. We should have known then. They should have hired Kingsbury is what they should have done. I don't know why they didn't.
I mean, people were clowning on the Kingsbury hiring as well. So we're just gonna leave that there.
for sure. But Kingsbury also
I agree
worked
with
with
you.
the guy, so I would have mildly scoffed at it, but then when I was like, wait, Caleb and Kingsbury have worked together, I would have probably come around a little bit,
That's true. I didn't think about it from that point. I forgot he was with him at USC.
Yeah.
Or Oklahoma.
I thought it was USC.
Where was he with him at?
I'm pretty sure it was USC.
Okay. Spacing on it. But yeah, regardless, that would have been, hindsight. I mean, Shane Waldron, there's so many former players, like you said, that are coming out talking about how much he was hindering them in Seattle last year. So
yeah. No, I think you're totally right. Bears haven't won a game since October 13th, which, just not great. And the thing is like they haven't, like the losses that have piled up haven't been great. Like the Patriots loss, I think, is probably the most inexcusable loss of the season, because the Patriots are actually terrible, and you getting outcoached by Gerard Mayo's staff is actually ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. And their schedule down the stretch is brutal.
They still have a ton of divisional games, right?
Can I read them for you? They have but all of their games are divisional besides 2 of them.
Oh.
So Thanksgiving at Detroit, at San Francisco, at Minnesota, all 3 of those games. Oof. I would be shocked. If Eberflus still has a job after that stretch. And then you go home Lions, home Seattle, at Green Bay to end the season. You don't play a sub 500 team the rest of the way. Or no, wait, Niners are.
Yeah.
Niners
Thanks
are
all the
5.
injuries.
They're 5-6. Yeah, I forgot that they were just at 500. Either way, it's gonna be really tough down the stretch. And Bears fans, I don't even know what to tell you. Like Caleb has shown bright spots, but oof.
His rolling out throw when he was rolling to the right, I forgot who he hit in stride. One of the best throws of the season. I'm not sure if you know exactly what throw I'm talking about.
I do not.
I'll send it to you after this. I'll see if I remember while recording to put it on to put it in the video, threw it an absolute gorgeous throw. So he's shown, you know, some signs of hope, some improvement, kinda. I mean, poor dude just doesn't. I mean, he's
Well,
still
he's
getting
getting
hit
killed. He's
a
literally getting
lot.
killed at a he's getting killed at a rate of like David Carr, you know? And when
Yeah,
that's happening, you're like, Jesus Christ.
yeah. So you know, not looking great for them. I think on the flip side of this game, on the other side, I think it's going to be a very, very strong showing for Detroit, who's just
Oh, yeah.
they're just coasting right now.
Well, they also lost on Thanksgiving last year,
Who
right?
did they lose to? Remind me.
Didn't they get blown out by Green Bay? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got embarrassed against Green Bay. And I don't know. I think God, the Lions just everything that Dan Campbell said in his introductory press conference has happened. Where he's like, you guys are gonna hate fucking playing us. Like we're gonna bite your kneecaps and we're gonna fucking, do this, that, and the third. Like it's so cool to see. I'm not gonna lie. Like I am, and unfortunately, like because the Lions are so good and just seem to be so fundamentally sound right now, there's just not a lot for us to say about them.
Yeah, I mean, I will say just because it's Indianapolis played them last week, so I kind of got to watch it a bit
Right.
more. They were piling up some injuries, especially in their secondary. Their secondary is getting a little thin. I mean, obviously they're without their best defensive player, Aiden Hutchinson, but they're playing without Terry and Arnold. Kind of stacking up. I think it was Taylor Decker got hurt. They're starting left tackle. I'm not sure the severity of it. Packing on a few injuries.
It's
They
fair.
still, I think they'll still be fine. Sam
Yeah.
Laporta has not looked as good this year.
No, people were like, "This guy's the next Kelsey," and
Well, I'm going to chalk it up to this: rookie quarterbacks always perform poorly. Like rarely ever does a rookie quarterback or a rookie tight end, come in and actually play decent.
shout out
And
Brock Bowers.
he's like one of the exceptions. Yeah, Brock Bowers. So maybe this is his rookie slump.
This is rookie,
if you want to
yeah.
call it,
No, that's a good way to look at it.
So I'm not worried about him long term wise, but yeah, it's exciting. I mean, you can't even be a hater or be upset with it because this team was so bad for so long,
Yeah, they were floundering for ages, and they've finally come back.
Yeah, so I'm happy for them. I think that'll be the least competitive game tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, not tomorrow. Well, I guess it is tomorrow. Tomorrow/Thursday, because I don't know if I want to put this out tonight or tomorrow. I'll figure it out. Anything else on Chicago Detroit before we move on to the puke game of the week?
Nothing for them.
Oh God. Okay, so the next game, Giants at Dallas, and before we even get into the game, I think right now these are two of the most dysfunctional franchises in the league. I don't think I'll put either one at number one just because, David Tepper still exists. But yeah, we can start with the Giants. The Giants benched Daniel Jones and literally had him playing scout team safety, and he asked to be released. Giants released him, and then against the Buccaneers, they scored one touchdown.
At the end of the game.
At the end, yes. It was. I don't even. Singletary, I think, scored it. So for fantasy heads, yay! I don't even know if Singletary is.
He's not
rostered. No, but God. So I think this has just been a trend of just failure since Coughlin left. You had the one good season, or I guess you've had two decent seasons since Coughlin left, and both of those were a bit of an aberration, right? The one where you made the playoffs with Ben McAdoo, and the boat picture happened, right? And then when you made the playoffs the first season of Daboll, and that team highly overachieved, one of the most overachieving playoff teams we've had in a while. And they beat the Vikings. They upset the Vikings. Big upset. Awesome. But like, there has been no progress. No progress. And I think Daboll's a good coach. I think they have just drafted bum after bum after bum. And the thing that makes good teams good is that even if you kind of miss on a draft pick, you can still coach them up. They somehow don't have that coaching. Their offensive line, in my lifetime, the Giants, as I've been watching football seriously, the Giants have not been able to run the football. They have never been able to run block in my football watching experience. Like, even in the Super Bowl winning days, even in this, well, you said Saquon?
Even with Saquon.
Oh, even with Saquon. Exactly. You had legitimately the best running back prospect in the history of the sport, and you don't draft offensive
Couldn't do anything with him.
Couldn't do anything with him. And I mean, this is like, I think this has happened because the Giants never, like, even though their record would tell you that they have fully reset a couple of times, they haven't. They've tried to, like, sort of, maintain and, like, keep the same core, and then that core is aged, so then they draft Saquon, and and you draft Daniel Jones, and you try and maintain that core, and then that doesn't work. And it's just this is one that needs to be torn down to the studs. Legitimately. I think there are good pieces. Like, Neighbors is good. There are some good pieces on defense. But
they have some really solid pieces. Very, very solid. Like you just said, Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, whatever you think about him. I know he's fumbled, so he got benched. He's looked very, very promising. They got their starting left tackle, Andrew Thomas. He's dealt with some injuries. The defensive wise, they have 3-4 good edge rushers. Kayvon Thibodeau, got Brian Burns. I don't know why this team is so bad.
I have no idea. But I think I don't know where you go. Because in one way, I'm like, oh, Daboll's a good coach. Like, I think he does deserve another shot, but I just don't think that shot is with the Giants. I think too much has happened. And I don't think this is recoverable. Is it?
No,
like, what's the move?
I agree with you.
Because what are we going to do? Are we going to draft Shadur Sanders and put him behind that awful offensive line? You're going to draft Cam Ward and put him behind that offensive line? Like, what's the play?
It's gonna take a lot. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. The team's gonna be bad for a while, depending on not even depending on whoever they get a quarterback. It's gonna be an issue. You're gonna, like you said, you're gonna put a rookie back there. They're probably gonna be a little impatient with the rookie quarterback, because if you don't play fantastic right off the rip,
this is the team that gave Daniel Jones 6 years. I don't know if they have to worry about that.
That is true.
John Mara definitely is, like, loyal to a fault, I would say.
Do you think Daniel Jones has potential to start again?
Absolutely. Sam Darnold looked like the worst quarterback in the NFL, and now he's, like, proficient.
I was going to say, I could see a very similar Sam Darnold kind of arc.
Yeah. And the thing that, like, is crazy is that we saw Daniel Jones play at a high level. Like he threw
Once.
for 4,000 yards when they made the playoffs. You know
Once.
that, but
His career high is what, 24 passing touchdowns?
is it really?
It's somewhere around there. 26. It's not more than 28. It can't be. His best season was still like he used his legs a lot, right? I'll give him that. But passing wise, he's never been fantastic. But I
Mm.
do think he'll be. I do think he'll be better than, he's gonna go somewhere and actually have a chance. Yeah, hit 2019 best year passing wise, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. Other than that, never more than 15.
When do you think the last time? Oh wait, hold on.
What was the year they gave him his contract in 2022 or 2023? Must have been 2022.
Well, it's the
Right.
same year that Carr got his contract because I had friends who laughed at me. I had friends who laughed at me about the Carr extension, and it was like, "Are you sure about that?" Or not about the Carr extension, about the Carr contract.
It was after the 2022 season is when he got paid. That was after he went 9-6-1, the most wins in his career, more than double, where he threw
They
15
only
touchdowns.
went 9-6 that season.
Yes, 9-6-1.
I don't know why I
15
remember that better.
touchdowns. 15 touchdowns. And they gave the guy horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, not great.
Not great at all.
Can I read you a fun stat?
Of course.
So the Giants, since 2010, how many seasons do you think they've had 2,000 yards cumulatively rushing as a team?
I don't know. I'm assuming not much by the way you ask.
Since 2010, it's happened once, and that was 2022.
Oof.
Not great.
Wow.
I don't know. Damn. 2022 was better rushing for the Giants than I thought. They put up 2,500 rush yards. That's really insane. Anyway, neither here nor there.
So that's, Daniel Jones has 700 of those. So
oh,
that's what got him paid.
There you go.
Interesting. Well, I don't know what's going to happen to him. Dallas is kind of screwing themselves. We haven't talked about them too much by winning. We talked about two bottom end teams. Dallas is 4-7 coming to this game.
Dallas just needs broad spectrum talent. They just need bodies in the building. So I don't think they necessarily need the high end talent because they are so fucking top heavy. I just think it's depth everywhere that they need. And they need a running back.
That's fair.
Oh, if Gentry went to the Cowboys, I don't think it'll happen, but that would be so
I think
cool.
he has a very good chance to.
It'd be so cool.
I'd like to see it.
He's talked about him going to Arizona, and he and Kyler are both like 5'8", so he's talked about how kind of funny that would be. I would also like that. Okay, so moving on to Dallas, unless you have any more on the Giants.
Nothing.
Okay, so Dallas, would you want to be in Dallas's position, or would you want to be in the Giants' position more, just going forward?
I'd rather be in the Giants.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, speak to that.
Because you get a fresh start. You're going to have a chance at a top-end talent, like a new face of the franchise. Like I said, they have good pieces, right? You're probably going to get a new head coach, more than likely, like we just talked about with Daboll. So there's at least some intrigue for like new fresh blood. Dallas is going to middle out. They're not going to get top end talent. They're going to have Dak back next year. Jerry Jones is talking this morning about how he's open to a McCarthy extension, so they might have Mike McCarthy. I doubt it, but there's a chance they might have Mike McCarthy again next year, and they're just going to be in the same boat. And then they're going to struggle to pay. They're going to struggle to pay Micah Parsons. That's my thought process on it.
Yeah, I don't think that you're totally wrong, because if we look at, you look at Washington, and if the Mars aren't selling the team, but the Mars are not bad owners. They're not. So if like say if Belichick goes to the Giants and they draft Travis Hunter, and then the next year they get like Arch Manning, like that's your reboot. And then you just draft the offensive line and defensive line from there, and there you go. They like
I think I'm less high on the prospect of bringing in Bill Belichick than you are. But
that's fair. That's fair. No, I can. Yeah, I
no, I see what you're saying.
I just think it would be cool though. It
I
could
see
be
the vision.
having
For sure.
having Travis Hunter being coached by Bill Belichick would be fucking bananas.
And then having another Manning back in the building
It
could be huge.
Could be huge. Could be huge. No, so for me, Dallas, I think honestly you're right, because you just gave Dak the biggest contract in NFL history. McCarthy is probably not going anywhere. Like, if Vegas had odds on Mike McCarthy being in Dallas next year, you probably wouldn't be able to like make too much money off of saying yes, he's going to be in Dallas, because Jerry is also patient to a fault. Look how fucking long Jason Garrett stayed, and Jason Garrett was not a Super Bowl winning coach. Jerry today was like, as you said, oh, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. Like, I'm open to giving him a contract extension. Jeez Louise, man. I don't know. Like, Cowboys fans must still be buying merch in droves. Like,
Of course they are.
Rico Dowdle jerseys must be flying off of the shelves.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, but that's the thing. There was these rumors about Jerry hiring Dion and drafting Shadur first overall. I assumed they were closer to first overall than they actually are. I didn't realize they were 4-7. They're going to go against a horrible, horrible team on Thanksgiving. They have a very good chance to be 5-7. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to win the division. But they're going to be middle enough where the course is going to stay the same.
Yeah, no, I think it's just gonna like continue to sort of slowly rot.
I agree.
And if Dak is healthy next year, they'll probably be over 500, right? One would think.
I mean, they didn't look that great when he was in the lineup.
And they still haven't won a home game, which is so funny. Is there how open is the path to them not winning a home game this year?
I'd have to look at their schedule, but
it's going to be tough this week. This week is going to be, I think this week might be the test, because so home Giants, home Bengals, home Buccaneers, home Washington. If they lose this week, it could fucking happen.
The Washington game is their best bet.
You don't think the Giants game is their best bet?
Oh, well, after this week.
After this week. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, depending on how you feel about Tampa.
I'm pretty high up there on Tampa. I mean,
Okay.
Tampa just stomped New York. If New York gives Dallas a good game, I mean, that shit happens all the time, though, where it's
I'm just gonna say
one team beats another team,
I'm just gonna say this. Saints are only 2 back from the first place Falcons. Just saying.
Uh-oh.
Just saying. We're also 2 back from the Commanders, and we play the Buccaneers, who are ahead of us. We play the Rams, who are ahead of us. We play the Commanders, who are ahead of us.
Uh-oh. We'll see then.
So is there belief? No, but we'll see.
Me.
We'll see. We also play in Lambeau the day before Christmas Eve, which is gonna be brutal. Anyway, this game is gonna be terrible. Please avoid it. It's at the perfect time to just go and eat. At least on the East Coast, 4:30 p.m. Great Thanksgiving time to eat. At least if you have like older relatives. So that would be my suggestion for this game because these are two franchises that are kind of tail spinning right now. Luckily for the Giants, your tailspin is going to end early. For the Cowboys, your aircraft is like really old, and then it like fixes itself for a second, and then it just starts crashing again. So we'll see what happens with that. Anything else on Giants Cowboys?
No, I have a feeling like this game is going to be pretty entertaining, to be honest. Like a bad, entertaining game. Like two bad teams, very similar to what we saw with Dallas and Washington this last week. We'll see.
Word. Moving on. Dolphins at Packers. Ooh, you know what I haven't done? I haven't checked the weather for Green Bay on Thursday. Let's see. Before I say anything. Let's see. Green Bay weather Thanksgiving. Ooh. 31 and snowing. Oh, and I'm sorry. At game time, it'll be 27 and winter mix. So, Miami, who do not seem to function once it hits below 60. How are you feeling about this game?
We'll see. I think this will probably for sure be the best game. I know I just said that the most competitive game will be the game we just talked about. But man, Miami's on a roll. I wasn't even worried about them because the Colts are currently like fighting for the playoffs, the wild card spot. They were the first team out going into the week. I wasn't even my eyes were on Chargers, Broncos, Bengals, and Colts. I did not realize that Miami's on a 3-game win streak and they jumped the Colts in the standings for the wild card. They're 5-6. They have no shot to win the division, obviously, but they have a very, very good chance to make the playoffs depending on how the Broncos finish out the season. Chargers too, I guess. But I'm hoping they don't win as a fan. But I mean, they've looked how everybody was kind of expecting them to look coming into the season. So I don't know. How are you feeling about it?
So Miami's weird because Tua has just kind of. Can I make a fucked up joke?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Tua just kind of like got knocked into a factory reset, it seems. And granted, their last 3 wins are against the Rams, Raiders, and Patriots. So take that, with a grain of salt. They do play the Jets twice, and they're going to catch the Browns as well. So I don't know how we feel about that, but they have some tough games. They're in Houston. They're home against the 49ers. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, I know the 49ers are really injured and they had a bad game against Green Bay. It's always going to be tough to go against the 49ers. Yeah, Kyle's running scheme is always going to be tough, and but it's weird. I don't know how I feel about this Dolphins team because again, it's been 3 wins against not good teams. And it's not as if the Rams are terrible, but I think they've been pretty injured throughout the season, and just it's been really hard for them to find footing. So, I understand them beating them. They do have, their losses aren't terrible, specifically because they had horrible quarterback play. Mm-hmm. They lost against the Bills, they lost against the Cardinals, they lost against the Colts, they lost against the Seahawks, they lost against the Bills again, and the Titans. And I don't care what anyone says. Titans have a really fucking good defense. And metric wise, they also have good defense. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't trust them. So I would lean on the side of not believing in them for the rest of the season, specifically for this game. Because, you know, we know how we have seen the sample size with the Dolphins when they play outdoors in inclement conditions. Like, it's not looking great.
Like fans going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Kind of weather.
Yeah, because they drank too much and like just kept their shirt off in, you know, minus 30 fucking wind chill. Like, all right, good job, buddy. Yeah, so going forward, I mean, the Finns, I like Mike McDaniel, but I just don't know. I don't know how much longer this lasts, right? Because they just paid Waddle, and you know Tyreek is on the books, and you know Tua is on the books, and you know Jalen Ramsey is on the books. You know everyone.
Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, everyone. You know, is somebody unretired today?
Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett. Yeah, Shaq Barrett unretired today. That was really funny.
That adds to it. I don't know if he's going to try to play. I mean, I know he's a Dolphin. I don't know if that's the plan or if they're planning on cutting him or releasing him or what. But that's the plan right now, dude. I mean, it's a decent other option for you on a team that could use some pass rush. So they're getting, I don't want to say they're getting healthy at the right time, but they're getting back to where I think we kind of all expected them to be going into the season.
Fair.
Which is cool to watch.
Yeah. Packers. Sitting pretty 8-3. Unfortunately, they do not have their the first place. They don't even have second place in their division because, well, it's the best division in football. How you feeling about this Packer team?
They look super solid.
Yeah.
They're kind of, I mean, you got Jordan Love looking like young Brett Favre, slinging it. Doesn't care how many times he turns it over. He's going to check it deep. No, I think it's funny. Like, I forgot that they're not even in second place. I forgot Minnesota's.
Yeah, Minnesota's 9-2, dude.
What's Green Bay's record? 8-3?
8-3, yeah.
And they've won 7 in a row?
No. I was wrong for that. I was gonna correct myself after you were done.
Okay.
No, they have only won 2 in a row. They lost to the Lions on November 3rd.
That's right.
I fucked that up.
But they've won. They're on a pretty decent winning streak, and they're doing so with they've done it with their backup quarterback. They've done it plenty of different ways, right? So I mean, Josh Jacobs is looking solid. I saw a stat that like all these franchise running backs that teams were not wanting to pay a couple years ago all went to new teams that are all doing pretty damn good.
Oh yeah,
Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. So, yeah, this team, it's going to be good. I think it'll be a good fight. I think the weather, like you mentioned, I didn't even take that into account. I think that'll play a good factor in it. Big factor.
Yeah. I don't know. Miami, you're right in that they look better than they have in the past and that they seem to be rounding into shape, but I just don't believe that will be like this team was always a beginning of the season team, you know, and late in the season, we've always seen them falter. And so I think that's what my bias is against them is I'm like, I've seen you fail late in the season before. And I just think that's going to happen again. You know, it is the history of
That's
the
right.
Tottenham, to bring out an old meme, but yeah.
That's fair. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
If
see.
it-
We'll see.
That's the last. You were a little upset that it wasn't a divisional game. It was on Thursday night.
Yeah, I think about like, you know, the Saints playing the Falcons on Thanksgiving night and just like how much fun that game was. I mean, it's because the Saints won, but it was also a competitive fucking game. And I think divisional games will always do that. And you know, we didn't get it. We didn't get it. Fuck, they had there's Steelers Bengals this week. Like that would have been a really fun game.
Yeah, but they got to keep certain teams on Thanksgiving, which I mean, well, the Steelers have played on Thanksgiving previously. Steelers played the Colts back in 2017. I actually went to that game on Thanksgiving.
Shit. That's awesome.
That was a Scott Tolzien game. Not awesome.
Tolzien. God.
Yeah, interesting slate of games. I mean, who could have guessed that we'd be getting Cooper Rush versus Tommy Cutlass? So give him a little bit of a pass for that one. You know.
Yeah, and it's not like it must be written in the CBA that the Cowboys and Lions play on fucking Thanksgiving. Yeah, because there have been some really bad Lions teams that have played on Thanksgiving.
It's interesting. Very bad. Yes.
Black Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that. We got the Chiefs versus the Raiders. Raiders are likely going to be rolling with Aiden O'Connell. Jesus.
AOC.
Gardner's getting shafted over there, man. It's a bad team. Actually, I think Gardner got hurt. Let me say that he got hurt. That's
yeah.
Why,
he went down on his shoulder, and Desmond Ridder came in and immediately fucking fumbled.
Yeah. Okay. So they get a little bit of fat. He's still getting shafted down there. Absolutely no run game. You know, I get nervous with divisional games, especially with the fact that Casey has been playing some extremely close games over the last few weeks. They almost give it up to Carolina.
That was a really fun game. But then they left too much time on the clock for Patty Mahomes,
as usual.
Which is what I texted you.
So I don't feel like, you know, I don't think this is a set in stone game. I don't feel like I'm not going to lock it in 100%, but I think it should be the outcome that we're all probably expecting.
I am locking it in 100%. I think the Chiefs are going to stomp them out.
You did bring up the bad blood from last year.
Yeah, they were smoking cigars and pretending like they won the Super Bowl after they beat the Chiefs on Christmas.
Max Crosby. They've done that a couple of times, huh?
And you know, I think, and you also had the Kermit the Frog with the Patrick Mahomes jersey and the Mahomes hair at the Chiefs training camp.
It's kind of funny.
You know what? It fucking is. If you're not the fucking Raiders. If that was Sean Payton doing that, I'm like, okay, I get it. If that's Jim Harbaugh doing that, okay, I get it. These are teams that can, like, low-key back up their fucking shit talk. You are the Raiders. You are the fucking Raiders. You do not scare as you used to. Like, if this was the Raiders of old, okay, yeah, sure. You're 2-9. You're 2-9. You fucking lost 7 in a row. You're gonna be drafting in the top 5, guaranteed.
What are they gonna do? Quarterback's an obvious pick, right? They wanted to move up last year, couldn't get it done.
Antonio Pierce apparently loved Jaden Daniels.
Antonio Pierce is probably going to be gone too.
Oh, he's 100% gone.
Restarting again, man. These teams some teams just find themselves in like a constant like cycle, dude. It blows my mind. It's very interesting.
I'm curious if Brady's going to have a lot of input on hiring and drafting. Or if that's purely just an investment to one day like fully buy a team.
We'll see.
See. No, I think this is like this is going to sound silly, but I think this is one the Chiefs have had circled. I think they want to beat the fuck out of this team. And when they last played, the Chiefs only won by a touchdown. And I think now that it's going to be in Kansas City with such like a meager quarterback, I don't know. not looking great if you're a Raiders fan. Go shopping that day.
You've sold me, right? I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs for my Survivor League. I'm calling it right now. I think this game, unfortunately, might be closer than it should. I still think the Chiefs will win. What's the line at? -7, Chiefs?
Bleacher Report has it at 12.5.
12.5. 12.5, the Raiders are going to cover.
12.5 according to DraftKings. Yeah.
Every game this year for the Chiefs has been a one-score game, right?
I think besides the Bills game, right?
What did they end up? What was the final score of that game?
30-21.
Okay. So even then,
Has it every game?
every game.
Wow. No, besides the Saints, come on. They also beat the 49ers by 2 scores.
Okay. So not every game.
But the thing, like, most of these games have been close in some capacity besides the Saints game.
Yes.
My Saints.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think they win. I think they win.
No, I agree with you. They're gonna win for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's not gonna be a huge blowout. 12.5 Raiders cover.
This has been such a silly Saints season, just not to talk about the Saints. But I'm looking at their games, and of their 4 wins, 3 of them are by more than 20. Like, what? I mean, I get it. It's against the Browns, the Cowboys, and the Panthers. So you're like,
Very interesting. They still have a chance, you say, huh? MVS
I think
came in,
so.
saved the season.
especially with our schedule and our division, because
the Rizzler in there.
we win traded with the Panthers and the Falcons, which I'm fine with. Now we just need to win trade with the Bucks on the final day of the season. As long as like there's not a lot of hard games here. At Green Bay is our hardest game going forward. But beyond that, it's home Rams, at Giants, which I am sadly not going to be at because I will be in Las Vegas. Home
Worst
Washington.
places to be.
Huh?
Worst places to be, I guess.
Worst place, yeah, definitely. Yeah, at Green Bay. I'm worried. That's a Monday night game. And then home Raiders at Buccaneers. So there's 1 trillion% a path, because I mean everyone might just go 500 down the stretch in the division, but who knows? We might be able to get there. It's a shitty, stupid little division.
Who knows?
Anyway, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Nothing else, man.
All right.
Not much left.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Very thankful for you, and being a good friend. Thank you to everyone who is listening. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has a great holiday with their family and friends, or whoever you're spending it with. If you're working or, otherwise occupied, appreciate you for whatever you're doing. And yeah, guys, let's be thankful. Have a good one. Thanks, AJ.
Peace, man. Thank you.
Peace.